Hi everyone. Sorry for the delay. I had some technical issues. It has been rectified now. I think I just need to share the new live streaming link with the participants. So give me a moment. Bear with me, please. Please bear with me. I hope you're doing well. Yeah. Sometimes you plan and something else happens. So here we are. Thank you for waiting. So I'm so sorry for keeping you all waiting. Such happens, right? When such a thing happens, you don't have to panic. Don't panic, just maintain your calm and try to find out what the issue was. So we are live, people. If you have the time now, join me live, and I'll be happy for us to have a very interesting conversation. Today, we shall be talking about resumes. Now, before I jump in, let me give a little bit of intro for those who don't know me. 1 second. Today, my technical skills are failing me. But nevertheless, it doesn't know who with whom is playing. I'm in there. All right. Welcome back to Mentorship Matters Africa Live. Last week, we went live and I shared my journey on how I transitioned into tech from a non-tech background. And today, I want to talk to you all. Let's have a conversation about resumes. Most candidates think that they are getting rejected because they are not good enough. In reality, even strong candidates are getting rejected because they are not positioned clearly. I wasn't positioned clearly in the beginning. So it's something that is either you are being guided by professionals or you learn on the fly or you learn by failing to do so several times. So today we're going to be talking of what recruiters actually want to feel or want to see or want to experience. So the shift comes from outcome. It comes from you recognizing what you want to do and acting upon it. But before we start, one question: what is a resume? What do you think a resume is? Some people think that. Well, I, for one, when I say some people, I once thought that as well. Think that a resume is a document. A resume is your life history. A resume is your life's biography. But that's not it. Resumes should be seen as a story. You should be able to tell a story. You should be able to position yourself in this story, and you should be able to bridge the gap between who you are and the value you create. In a resume, we should be able to see that. I should see it. Anybody should see it. Not only a recruiter. Anyone you come across in life should be able to see what it means or who you are. Should be able to know who you are. One second, my phone had a buzz here. Now, a resume also is not about everything you have done in your life. It's not about you making every bullet point. I did this, I did that, I was born and bred in this country, this and that. No, those are good to have, but they are not what we really want to see in a resume. So now, what should a resume reflect? A resume should reflect who you are. When I say who you are, I mean more than your name, more than where you were born, more than your siblings. What's that inner thing? Who are you? What are you building? What are you made of? And what problems do you solve? If you don't know who you are becoming, your resume becomes confusing. Do you always have most people? I include when I say most people, please put me on the first. I'm number one in most people before I took on this journey, right? Most people don't even know who they are becoming. They don't even know who they are. Like, what's your passion? What are your gifts? What are you intentional about? What's your purpose? Because most of us went to school because our parents asked us to, or because it was the norm. The society wanted us to go to school, which is a good thing though. But again, for you to be purposefully aligned, for you to serve what you're meant here to serve, you must know who that person is that's entering into a room to be interviewed. I guess that's why most of us are scared of interviews because you're going there not even sure. Wait, when is that? What's your name? You're wondering if you should give all the 7 names your parents gave you, or you just say that I have a lot of long names, just call me this. If you enter a room with a lot of self confidence and you tell them that my name is a whole sentence, but I'm going to give you 3 forms of it, the people start feeling, oh, okay, this person, you have to own the room. And you only own that room when you know who you are, you know what you're building, and you know what problems you solve. So you come and tell that you're welcome, right? It's like, yeah, you're blessed to be my presence, the other way around. So you have to flip the script. That's the feeling, the kind of feeling that we should have when we enter into a room for someone to ask us pertinent questions. And let me tell you, words are full of energy. When you lie, they see it through your teeth. So it's better to protect yourself first and to know yourself and to stop wasting anybody's time and do the right thing, which is to know yourself. Okay, now that we know what a resume is, that's a life story and it is not a document, it is not a biography. Now, how should we approach a resume? I would like to approach a resume in 4 main aspects. One, identity. What kind of professional are you? If you're entering a room to take part in an interview and you don't even know or you're not sure on who you are, what kind of professional you are, or what are the values you portray, what is your belief system, so to say, then that's already like a knock in the face. Now, if you know your identity, I know why you're there. Now, what's the direction? Where are you heading? Where are we heading? Because these are the interview questions, right? That someone may ask you that, okay, you wanted to, what are your, where do you see yourself in 3 to 5 years? Typical. It almost never fails because people want to know your short-term goals in relation to your long-term goals. So you need to be able to be to define the direction in which you're going to. The next question that we've talked of identity, direction, and impact. What results have you created? This is when the metrics come into place. What results? How have you been impactful in everyone's life? It doesn't matter what impact have you had in the world entirely, because all of this, the people you are going to serve are on earth. So in your how many years you have been on earth, there must have been something, results you have created. So you should be able to document those results and give them metrics. Say, okay, I have taken part in such and such projects. I help reduce cost. I help implement this project. I help in the migration by being specific with the role you played. What is your role? How did you take ownership? So that's an important aspect. And if you say what results you have created, we need evidence of that now. You need to show evidence, projects, metrics, and proof. Those are very important aspects when when you are structuring a resume. And again, these are just I'm giving you all the templates. The important aspects are the important aspects, not that important, that that you should respond to, that you should tally your resume, you should have those aspects. Now, why am I doing this session? Because mostly are for those that are career switchers, for those that are young professionals, are those that want to redefine themselves. And if you want to redefine yourself, there must be a gap that you have experienced, right? If you're moving from point A to point B is not already, it's not a ready-made switch. You need time within that to say, okay, I want to switch to tech. Myself, a typical example, I want to switch to tech, which means that I have left the traditional route I was following my career, and I have to branch and follow a different path. That's a gap. Most of most of us here are mothers in the diaspora. When you're a mother and a wife, there are some gaps, several gaps that sometimes it makes us feel limited. It makes us feel unqualified. What are these gaps? Motherhood. What are these gaps? You're going to go and learn a skill. You want to do this. So at the end, you see that, oh my God, how do I explain this to them? Let me share something personal here. As you all know, as I've shared, I'm a mother of three. And when my kids were born and I needed to take care of them, there was a gap, years of a gap. So there's something in German called Looken los, which means that you should provide your resume. It should be like year for year. It should be accounted for, accountability. I said, oh my God, what should I tell these people that I was doing for 4 years or how many years? What should I say? I just said that my simple truth, motherhood, that's all I wrote there. Some people are saying that, don't put that there. Why will you say motherhood? Say something different. I said, but that's the truth. I was in motherhood. I cannot tell you anything else. That's what I was doing. But again, if I want to tell you the impact that had, something different. As a mother, you learn to resolve conflicts. As a mother, you learn to be patient. As a mother, humiliation, yeah, their children will humiliate you in public by crying uncontrollably. So you have to know how to keep them calm and not wanting to like use the African method on them in public. So all of those are skills that I developed as a mother. And it will be needed in my career because we said, okay, things are going wrong. What do we do? Stay calm first. So, okay, we need to manage this. First of all, everyone calm down. The way you tell your child, stop crying and tell me why you're crying. So those are skills that came along, and I should be proud enough and I should be courageous enough to tabulate that, to translate that into value. Because seriously, there are many times that everybody is just going bonkers. And I'm saying, Inda, calm down. Inda, calm down. Inda, calm down. Don't tell this person what you want to tell them. Just hold your cool. Remember when this child was 6, something similar happened. What did you do? That's how you transfer those skills. Yeah, I'm speaking from a parental point of view. And the male that way, any man that is here that has had an annoying little brother or something, you know that you need that in situations that you face. So if they ask you that, what do you learn? I say, I was like the house manager. I was a manager to manage your home, knowing exactly when a child says that you are here, but you're not there, knowing when to request feedback, all of those, knowing improve time management, strengthen emotional intelligence, and build discipline. You need to build discipline as a mother because it's not easy. But again, um, motherhood did not weaken me. If anything, it strengthened me. Let me say this again. Sometimes we hide parts of ourselves because we think that the corporate world only wants a particular version of us. No, you are unique, you are special, and you approach everything differently. You know, everyone has different fingerprints. What do you call it? The fingerprint. Their fingerprint as well is different. So take all of your life experiences and build it up in a way that is appealing. They see you. Problem. Use the star method. What was the situation? Oh, you can see use the mother thing, whatever you did. What was the task? What was the action? And what was the result? So all of those are applicable in all walks of life. So if you want to become a technical advisor, if you want to become a software engineer, if you want to become a teacher, so let's take it all over. If you were a software engineer and you want, for some reason, want to become a teacher, those skills are valid. They're so much valid. I have to know how to use them. Now, let me ask you, what do you have a gap year? Tell me in the chat if you had a gap year. For some reason, let's say you just started to travel the world. Because most people nowadays say, I'm traveling the world. I want to be free. That's also good. They travel the world and they discover that their career is not what they wanted. And that's a good story to tell when you switch careers. You say, I found my purpose. Because every company wants someone that is purposeful, right? So make sure that you understand what the company wants and actually be dedicated to doing what they really will follow, what they need for their success. Now, let's talk a little bit more about transferable skills. What skills can you transfer to your new job, to your new career path? If you're young, if you're a graduate or young professional or someone that still wants to find out who they truly are, what did your previous life teach you? I'll call it life. What did you learn from it? If you're a banker like me before, I would learn about risk management because my thesis were actually risk management in financial institutions. And I'll tell you that even up to now, those skills come in handy because everyone wants to minimize risk. Or if they're in a risky situations, you're supposed to know all the parameters you need to consider such that the bigger goal, the long-term goal should still be in focus. If you're in sales and you want to become a software engineer, you had communication skills and you are very persuasive. In software engineering, you work with people, right? Even if you're working with robots or with agents, you still need to communicate with them. Structural communication. And in every job description that I've seen, communication skills are needed. They need someone that can communicate value. So if they say that the meeting is at 4 in room C, they know C3 in room F. So but that's just a basic example, but I like to keep things very simple. And The best one that I've seen that the people always strive for were teachers. So if you have any teaching skills, right, which means that you're structured in your explanations. And me, somebody that switched in career, I like someone that is structured and can explain things to me in the most basic format. You're my best person. There's a saying that if an 11-year-old cannot understand what you're saying, then you need to rethink the method they are using in communication. Now, if you're a parent like me, or you are a parent that want to go back into a career path, you have conflict management skills, you have patience, and what you're a critical thinker. Because if you have 2-year-olds, a boy and a girl, just okay, let me not digress. You, if you want something, you have been a parent, a mother for that matter, you will get it. Just not to package those skills. If you have been in the hospitality department, high pressure coordination, well, I don't think there's any. Even you're a history teacher, you'll be very good at documentation because now in tech, high documentation, people need to document. Sometimes I love it, but sometimes I feel like, oh my god, this is too much in there. So if I had a background in history with those thick books and memory, transferable skills. How many pages can you read in a day? Tell them that you go through documentations, you update them, making sure that everything, the past, the present, and the future procrastination are intact. So those are skills that you can see transfer them. The key word here is translate. That's all I'm saying. Be able to translate what you have done before into where you're heading to, because everything is connected. Everything is connected. So keep that in mind. Now, let's talk about the length of a resume. If you know all of these things, well, I've talked about your transferable skills, they are needed. You can translate them. Transferable skills will be translated. We have talked about what a resume is. Let's talk about the length of a resume. There is something called ATS. That is like an analytical, it's AST, sorry, an analytical translation system. I think I'm right in here. Someone can correct me in the comment section. Which means that if you know what you want to be, you know who you are, you know the problems you solve. If you know all of those, you should be applying for jobs that tally with your strengths, and you see that the gap between the problem you solve and the person they need syncs with another. So this ATS is going to say, oh, this is a potential candidate because their stronghold, their skills are exactly what we need for this role. And again, bear in mind that I just mentioned here that be able to translate all the skills or all the experience you have into the new role you're coming into. For example, it can be that there is in a company they're looking for someone to replace somebody that's going for maternity, or let's say that they're taking a year off. They say, well, this person is in the accounting department, but it's so short notice for us to get someone. What they do, you that you are in the company or you that you have those skills, you can be transferred. Say, oh, they have these skills. So let's just hire them for this period of time. And you see, you get opportunity to be exactly where you're supposed to be. You get that right? So don't say that your past experience are not worth it. No, your past experience are part of you. They're part of your DNA. They're part of what defines you, and you should proudly represent that. Even someone that is a plumber, someone that is digging toilets for the lack of English grammatical words for that. If you have that, if you have those skills, you can persevere in hardship. When the company is going down, they'll call before you, say, this person can persevere. What should we do here? You have tactics that will help them. So I'm just making sure here that I go to both extremes, right? You should know that whatever you did in life that created added value is needed in your job, in on your journey to who you are supposed to be. I mean supposed to be because that's what is designed for you. Do us a favor and be who you're supposed to be because we need your services. All right. Now, for someone that will say that, okay, there was I talk about the ATS, the application, um, uh, um, the ATS, application tracking system. That's it. Application tracking system. You don't need to write too many words. You don't need to write a whole paragraph. As I said before, a resume is not a history. It's not your life history or your biography. You're telling a story. And if you have a lot of experience, how do you compress that into a 1 to 2 page documentation? That's when the beautiful aspect of blogging. I'll just say blogging now. For tech people, we call it you're creating content on dev.to, you're creating content on GitHub, you're creating content on LinkedIn. All of that is tremendously valid in your journey because we are global. We're in a global economy. If you live your life for yourself, you might be in one area. Arbitrarily, I'll call my village. Let's say Bamenda, you're in Bamenda, and you are doing a phenomenal job. Everyone around the local community calls upon you when they have any issue with their computers or someone that is calm and composed. But again, the world needs somebody like that. How do they find you? You have to have an online presence, not just on your resume that you will send to particular companies. You need to have an online presence that brands exactly who you are. And you can't write that on a CV or on a cover letter because I bet you nobody will read it. So you need to have like a blog. I always tell my mentees, I need to see you online. Be online, be available, be globally local. That's the word I use for them. Be globally local. If you tell me your name, there's the instinct. If you tell me your name, I will ask that how did they spell it? It's not because I'm interested in how they spell your name for the sake of interest. I'm interested in how they spell your name so I can Google you and see what you're doing online. If you really want to know how your job interviews will go, Google yourself and are you satisfied with such a person? Whether the people that are behind the scenes, they're doing tremendous work, but now those people with 20, 30 years experience, if you see them on LinkedIn now, they're saying that I need to share my experience with the world. And that's important when you share it, that people that are starving, they need your expertise. So that's what a resume does for you. You don't need to be stressed out for the 2 hours that you sit in front of 6 or 7 people. The interview itself is stressful enough. So do yourself a favor and know who you are, such that it will just be a very smooth conversation. I've had nasty interviews because when they ask you that, what's the challenge that you have ever had? I had many, but there was no structure in them. I don't have a structure. But again, when I sat on myself, I said, okay, Inda, let's have this structured, right? Because if there's no structure, there's no evidence. We have structure, is evidence, and you can post it. So all of these things are very important when you're talking, when you want to build a resume, because the recruiters feel that energy. They feel the energy. Anyone that wants to become a cloud engineer, anything concerning cloud and IT, LinkedIn, GitHub. You should have a GitHub account, a LinkedIn account, and dev.to, just to start with. Also, meet a lot of them out there. Choose the one that um, aligns best with your need, what you think is best for you. So I would like to know in the chat what has been your greatest hurdle in an interview. Even some things that you might know some responses, but you are so nervous because you are so unsure of yourself. You tend to give the wrong answer, or you tend to doubt yourself and say, "What am I talking about?" So, in modern times, cover letters can just be links. If you make your CV, there's a way that you can just include a link, a clickable link. Oh, that's so beautiful. Just click the link there, you see the person's professionality. You see the project name, the purpose of the project, what you did, the results, and the measurable difference. Oh yeah, Crypto Duchess said has a self-doubt or imposter syndrome right before the interview. That's a given, Duchess. That's a given. But again, it should not stop you from being who you know you are. What is imposter syndrome? Imposter syndrome, I had this explanation from a professional online. They said you have the imposter syndrome because you're moving into a role that you have no idea about. You're entering behind the screen that people you don't know. If the interview was being conducted by your parents or your siblings, you will not have the same imposter syndrome because you know that the people know you. So you're moving into a room of people you already know. It's it's because the imposter syndrome comes most of the times because you are at the begging end, so to say, or you are least experienced. Yeah, for lack of not begging end, least experience into what you're going into. But again, you grow into it, right? If they when they hire you, you feel the excitement. After 6 months, say, "Oh, these people are my body." The CEO, we go for coffee, we'll hang out and everything. The imposter syndrome is gone. But again, we should not let that stop us in any way, shape, or form. No, it will come, but just say, imposter syndrome, sit here, okay? Mommy wants to talk now. Just be yourself here and wait for me. When I finish, you can go. Don't come with me. Be going. So yeah, it is imposter syndrome. I will also address this in upcoming videos. Don't be scared of it. It should not make you limit yourself. Some people cancel on appointments because they feel unqualified. Yeah, you are growing. You are growing into something bigger than you. So know that the feeling is because you are anticipating something that you're not used to. So yeah, it comes in that sense. Yeah. Toche said transferable skills like staying calm in a disastrous moment. Yeah. There are these famous videos where you see kids are crying and screaming and everything is happening. You say, okay, that's a normal for me. That's a normal Tuesday. But when they're quiet, that's when you should go and check on them. That's the same thing that happens sometimes in the tech world. If you're working in production, no, not production, in pre-product or a different environment and something breaks, we used to panic before, or let's say they panic. I was like, what happened? How do we fix it? And they say, ah, no, no, in that, don't worry. It breaks all the time. We're used to that. So that's like being calm in a disastrous environment. And before you know it, it's up and working. And even if it did not, lesson learned, right? You learn, and you know me now, me and failure, we're 5 and 6. You learn, you improve, you continue. Continuous learning. That's the circle of life. So the main thing I want you to take away from this session is what a resume is, what a resume should contain, what all your skills to be translated into your new role, because all of that is energy. They feel it, you also feel it. When you lie, they know. When you speak the truth, they know. Your life up to this point hasn't been a mistake. And there is this thing that people also handle imposter syndrome by buying courses. I say, oh, I'm going to take this course, I'm going to do this. Is it aligned to where you're going to? Is it aligned to your destiny? Does it add value to the problem you potentially solve for the company? Yes, do courses that are relevant to your role. If you see that, oh, nowadays companies need Kafka for event streaming, go ahead and learn Kafka for event streaming. If you say, oh, now they are migrating to microservices, which means that they need now to, you need to learn Kubernetes. Please learn Kubernetes because of that. Don't learn it because it's a new and fancy tool. And having all of these services, you have bullet points, up to 20 bullet points of tools that you have touched. And sometimes you don't even know what they do now. But they're there on your resume, just occupying space. Those are not relevant. If they're relevant to you, write a story about it that happened in the past and put it on your blog. So they can say that, oh, click on this link, you have projects. They say, oh, I used this tool 15 years ago, but it doesn't belong now on your resume because it's not aligned to your new role or to what you want to pursue. So that sinks in, right? Now, we've talked about the cover letter. It's supposed to be something different. My cover letter was a link to my GitHub. And now my cover letters, it's my social media. This video will be my cover letter. It's part of my cover letter. If you're so shy and waiting for to write one very beautiful, use an AI to compose the most beautiful text available that has nothing to do with your alignment, then you're wasting your time and the time of the recruiter. So do both of you a favor and know who you are, who you serve, how you solve that problem. Oh, Duchess just wrote again that she said she has a problem writing different cover letters for every different job she has applied for. As I'm just saying now, let your cover letters be your life. Let it be your life, such that if they need a skill, if they need a particular tool that will need you to have experience in this tool, you say, oh, yes, I have experience. And just put that, when you click here, and you see how I use this tool to solve this problem. You don't need to put in your resume or go and learn any other thing. Because you should know that, for example, know the area you want to focus on. The cloud is so broad. Cloud computing, broad. And you have different cloud providers. You have the giant AWS, you have Google, you have Azure, you have IBM, you have Alibaba, you have all of these people that are providing cloud services over the internet. Now, you can be, as my friend Bangale has all the certifications in AWS, all in Google, all in AWS, all. So I think he should have this problem as well, Duchess, where to adjust a cover letter for different job roles because you can apply for several different jobs. But I want to place your focus at, are you on the infrastructure side? Which means that, are you there to build the infrastructure, or are you there for the service side? Are you there as a developer of a software a developer, or are you a cloud engineer, or are you a solutions architect? Someone that is a software engineer, really has that's coding, pure coding, software engineers should really have least correlation with cloud engineer in my experience. But again, you can decide to switch or to merge those two. If you have had experience in end-to-end projects as a software engineer, end-to-end projects, and you have to know the ownership. What did you do? What did you change from where to where? You have that end-to-end project that you did is already there. And the project should not be like, I can be a software engineer and I can be a cloud platform engineer and I can be a DevOps engineer. You can be all of those things. It's a little bit confusing to you because there's some fine differences. Software engineers, I think they mostly have the different languages. You say, oh, we use Java. This one say, oh, we use Python. We say, we use Go. All of these languages. So decide for yourself where the cut off is. Be bold enough to say that you don't fit into my niche. That's why a niche is good to define. Does it fit into your niche, or are you desperate enough to go and learn that skill because you need a job? Somebody might say that like some people say, I use Mac, I use Windows, I use Linux, I use all of these. They have similar functions, but the advantages are different. So potato, is it right to say that? Potato, potato? So decide, are you willing to learn that new language, coding language, because of your job? Okay. Again, the main takeaways here is that don't try to erase your past because you want to get into tech. That's a big no-no, it's a disadvantage for you. Your past is not your weakness. It is what differentiates you. I've said it before. It is what differentiates you. Your resume should not hide who you are. Because if it hides who you are, your heartbeat increases whenever you're telling those lies. The lies that they both see. You should show them who you're becoming, who you're on a journey. And there's some skills that has to be learned on the job. There are things that you know the theory, but the practicals must be hands-on in a production-ready environment. And the requirements for that will be known when the situation arises. So you are not behind. You are evolving. So enjoy this evolution and reach out whenever you need help. If you're willing, I can't talk here about resumes explicitly because there are a lot of ways to handle that. What I'm most passionate about is who you are when writing that resume. Be truthful to yourself and your experience. So if you want me to take a look at your resume, DM me, reach out here. On the bio, we have all of our platforms where we can be reached. I'm glad to have a talk with you to find out how we can align you to who you're truly meant to be. Purposeful and intentional. It, it's a journey, but you enjoy it. You enjoy it such that if they reject you, you tell them that it is their loss because you know who you are and you know what you possess. If they don't hire you, create your own economy because you already know who you are. But let's serve the world. So thank you for joining today. I'm waiting for questions. You have any questions? I'm willing to respond to them. So have a blessed rest of the day and happy new month. This is the month of April, of March. So my son was born in March. My mom as well have birthdays in March. March is a beautiful season. All those who have birthdays this month have a blessed month, a blessed day. International Women's Day is celebrated this month. So remain blessed, remain intentional, and know that you are the prize. The companies need you. So let them see that in your resume and who you are online, because it matters a lot. Thank you all. Remain blessed by the best. See you next week, Sunday. at 6 p.m. I'll try, I will make sure that I don't I get everything right here, where I'll be telling you of how I'm going to start over if I needed to start over. So stay tuned, follow us, please subscribe, like, share, turn on the notification button. I won't say like this because I don't even know where it is. I've not set it up. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a blessed day. Bye.